afternoon, everybody. Hello, and welcome to everyone joining us today. My name is Brian Spano, and I, along with a few other colleagues of mine here at Sourcepass, are excited to walk you through how our platform Quest can maximize the admin support experience with Sourcepass. And you can be a seasoned administrator, client administrator of Quest and working with that, or new to our community. Today's insights should enhance your ability to manage and utilize Quest effectively as a client admin. So pretty excited about that. So let's get started. Before we dive into the details, I'd like to introduce some key members who'll be guiding you through today's webinar. There's myself, Brian Spano. I'm the Director of Product Development here at Sourcepass. I oversee the development and enhancement of Quest, and I'm going to be your main host today. We also have Jared. Jared is a product manager here at Sourcepass. His expert level understanding of the data behind Sourcepass and its vendors ensures integrations are not only complete and verifiable, but also intuitive. He is responsible for the many reporting features available in Quest, and he's going to demo some of them today, which we'll talk about in a minute. Brittany, another wonderful product manager here at Sourcepass. Brittany's been integral in managing the development of Quest's web, desktop, and mobile platforms. From a client admin perspective, she oversees the features that make up the subscription and license management, smart request finance and communication, features that client admins love and require. She's going to demonstrate some of those today. And together, we'll provide you with a pretty comprehensive understanding of how Quest can elevate the administrative insight, company level reporting experience. So we can begin there. One of the things that I wanted to bring up here, obviously, with this is a webinar, and it's do a little bit of housekeeping here. If you have any questions, use the Q&A button that's there inside your Teams window. We'll address them either now or follow up after the session, depending upon what type of question it is, whether we can answer it during the session. We'll have some time at the end. And you'll also receive a survey after the webinar via email. Appreciate it if you could take a moment to complete it. It's got some questions in there that are super important for us, but also can help Quest, obviously, because feedback's invaluable to us, helps improve not only future sessions of webinars, but also Quest itself. But we appreciate, of course, you joining us and definitely hope that you find this session helpful. Some of the things I'd like to highlight that it does exist, especially with these learning series webinars. These sessions are all about helping the Sourcepass community make the most of the tools that you already have. So our webinars are open to everyone, whether it's any Sourcepass client as well as invited guests. We hold these sessions monthly. Commonly, they could be the second Wednesday of each month. I did push this one around just because we wanted to get some other features into Quest before having some conversation, but appreciate that movement on the marketing team here. You can register for future sessions at sourcepass.com/events at any time. This digital transformation series webinar, that's something you should not miss any of those. We have upcoming events all on that webpage. And if you missed any of the webinars, you can view them all at the video library. Definitely hope you'll join us for these informative sessions and continue to get the most out of your IT investments here at Sourcepass. So today we're going to explore the depths of Quest, certainly from the client administrator perspective, focusing on enhancing the understanding of its features. We'll start with a brief history of Quest evolution, but mostly we're going to follow it through with our product managers doing demonstrations. Jared's going to demonstrate the service dashboard, the project and security dashboards. Brittany's going to jump in and cover the subscription module, the premium user, the approvals area, as well as some smart requests and some communications, those kinds of things. And we're going to round off today with an interactive Q&A session. So if there's any questions that you want to have answered, we'll certainly be able to do that. We have some team members, Rachel Lee's on the sideline trying to manage that Q&A on the side. So she'll do her best to answer questions as we move forward. Okay. Wanted to certainly talk about what Quest was, right? So it was created to streamline and improve the user support interactions we have with Sourcepass and the clients. Obviously, we knew it would revolutionize support management with Sourcepass, but it certainly has exceeded our expectations there. And we've enhanced, especially over the last year, capabilities integrated with a lot of platforms to cater to a good wide range of users. Co-managed users or standard clients, doesn't matter. We're using iOS, Android, or web or desktop. All of that's capable, that omni-channel experience that we want to provide. It smooths your workflow, but also helps resolve some support issues quickly and effectively. The goal sure is to make your interactions with Sourcepass easy, hassle-free, etc. Every feature with Quest is designed to improve things, right? So what do we want to improve? Response time, satisfaction for all users, especially, of course, here, our client administrators. So like I said, I appreciate everybody spending some time here. I'm going to hand this over to Jared, who will explain some reporting features, certainly for our client administrators.
Yeah, thank you, Brian, for that great intro. Welcome, everyone. So I'm going to go over a couple features that are very useful for client admin in particular. So you being client admin at your organizations, you can actually, you've probably already seen some of these features as you've logged into the Quest platform. So keep that in mind. And also, if you have anyone in mind at your organization that you would like to have access to these features, you could just reach out to your CSM. They can help you get those people this access. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. So right when you log in to the Quest platform here, you can see this is a demo environment that we have. So keep in mind your data will look different. Yeah, you'll have a little bit of a different look and feel possibly if you've customized it. So, but this is the main landing area. So we land on the service report, and most of the data out of the service report comes from ConnectWise Manage, which is the platform we use in the back end. So we have all of our data secured in our data warehouse on our side. Everything is secure. Absolutely no leakage between anything organizational wise, but you can see here, I'll start off here with the satisfaction score. So you'll notice up at the top right of most of these widgets, and so you'll see some further down that look a little different, but we have the time period of the data that we're seeing here. So satisfaction score comes from those response surveys that we send out with tickets or any interaction you have with us. You could see kind of the trend here on this rainbow chart, and then it also compares to previous 30 days. So you'll see just from a quick glance if your users are happy, and are they happier than last month, or is it the same, kind of that whole picture. And you can see there's drill downs on each of these. This is the first one. You can see actually who put the survey response in, what was the feedback, what was the ticket. You can drill down even further into the ticket and see those interactions. So if you have a particularly unhappy user, you can drill down and see, okay, this is the ticket associated with it, and this is why they were unhappy. So let's have a conversation about that. From the get-go, really what we're trying to do here is be transparent, be communicative. We want everything up front with you guys so that there's no miscommunications, there's no confusion. A lot of these, can be used for QBRs and reviews at the end of the month. And then moving on to total tickets here, this shows obviously open and closed tickets over a 6-month time period. The real power here is you can actually drill down and view more. So if you click view more, you'll be able to see individual line items and tickets associated across the board, and you can further drill into all of these as well and view these tickets and communications from here. There's also a download feature, so if you want to do some, Excel magic in the back end on your own, you can download this. It comes in a CSV. You can go through all the line items individually and look at all up, do some data magic that way. Service times, you can see here. A little bit about this. You can see these downtrends, uptrends. So to avoid confusion, a downtrend with acknowledgement times means our acknowledgement times are coming down. That's why you can see the green here indicates faster acknowledgement time, and this would be a longer response time, faster resolution time. All of these data points here are clickable as well, so you can see response time. You want to see this particular week here, you can click in, view all the tickets, acknowledgement, response, resolution time for that week. So you can really get into some good data to view trends. And all of these are movable, adjustable. You can view last 12 weeks, 12 days, or 12 months. And just like with the previous one, when you are in a drill down, you can actually download the line items as well and manipulate and do whatever you want with the data to kind of get to the conclusions you want. Um, Another thing we're trying to really do with this is make the data available, transparent, but also actionable. That was a big goal for us from the beginning. So we wanted to make it so that you could make business decisions for your organization based off the data you're seeing here, not just for service times, but you also see here with service ticket categories, you can see the categories that all your tickets came in for the last 30 days. So if you're noticing a particular incident reoccurring, maybe it's related to your VPN, maybe it's related to a firewall or a particular machine, you can actually view the pie chart here, see a lot of tickets related to that, and drill into those tickets and figure out what's going on with that device, with some level of service, it maybe security. You have some questions about, you can see all that data in the service ticket categories. A percentage of time spent in each ticket status here. It's a long name, but the goal of this is to give a heat map of where your tickets are sitting throughout the month. So last 6 months in this case. But the goal is to determine, if there's a holdup, like if there's a waiting on vendor and we see that the heat map is very strong in this area, maybe there's a vendor issue. Maybe we need to talk about how we procure equipment. It just opens up conversations to figure out reoccurring issues that you're having. Or maybe, something's waiting on client. Maybe the users aren't responding. That might be a training session with the end users to say, hey, we need to respond to these tickets a little faster. Um, top top users based on ticket submission. Again, with this one and the devices and sites, the goal here was to identify either users, devices, or sites that are having a lot of issues. For example, with the top users, maybe the user needs more training on how to do certain tasks on their machine. Maybe with the devices, the machines themselves are having issues. The drivers are failing. Maybe the screen is failing, mouse pad, whatever the case. You should be able to track the tickets associated with that device and really make decisions to, hey, maybe we need a hardware reset on this guy. Um, and then top sites again is related to, maybe there's a printer on one site and we see a ton of tickets coming for that printer. Maybe it's time to replace the printer. Maybe the printer has to have drivers updated on machines or something. It's meant to be strategic and tactical in the sense that we can see top level, how is the organization across all sites, all users, all devices. Request by source is pretty straightforward. This is how your users are contacting us. We'd like to see Quest in here as much as possible. So Quest is our preferred method of contact. It's just for communications. And we get to see, when with Quest, we can see a lot more data coming through. It's our preferred. Number of employees offboarded and onboarded. This one doesn't have much data in the demo, so I apologize for that. But this is pretty straightforward. It just shows onboarded or offboarded users. And you can click in and see the tickets related to those users and see, all the related data. So if, for transparency issues, again, miss something, you can come back and say, hey, this user didn't have this setting applied. He needs access to this site. Maybe we need to update our onboarding. So that's the service dashboard. We'll move on to projects. Oh, one last thing. There is a download button up here as well. And this actually creates a PDF where you can view kind of a overview. Great for QBRs, great for updates, executive summaries. That was the intention there. And then VIP tickets only will actually filter tickets just to people that are marked as VIPs in the ConnectWise platform. You can see everything adjust there. Moving on to projects. So this is projects for the last 6 months. You'll see we have 4 in here. All of these are related to, any kind of project agreement you have with us. So you can see the billing related, duration, status, where it is in the project details, and then also billing records. Each of these will adjust. You'll see kind of the billing adjust based off of the type of agreement that you have. And then there's also a contact here, so you can contact project manager. But this is just a great way to track, where we are with projects without having to reach out every time. And you can download this as well. And it's just a PDF like the other one. And lastly, here we have our security report. So this is a new one. This is an exciting feature for us. It has a lot of data related to all of our platforms in the back end. So we integrated everything so that we can see overview snapshot of security status for your organization. So the Sourcepass security score, this is weighted from Microsoft data and know before data. So if you're not seeing anything here or in the trend or in trainings completed, please contact your CSM. We can get everything linked up so that all the data is visible here for you. But this score right here is basically our score saying, hey, based off of where you are with Microsoft settings and what you've applied in that environment, plus the know before data and like what your users are responding to or the trainings they've completed. This is where we believe your organization stands to our assessment. This isn't an indication of like incident, you know, uh, preparedness, I guess you could say. You could see here. It's meant to be just a gauge of where your organization is with the policies and the applications that you've applied for security related events. Patches installed. This just shows devices with most recent patches installed, so you can kind of track devices. Again, from a strategic level, you can say, hey, this server went down after this. Let me hop in here really quickly so I can see when was the patch installed. Oh, it was installed yesterday overnight. That probably was the incident. Let's roll it back. Allows you to make strategical and tactical decisions here. Security tickets closed. These are all security related tickets, so you can track potential ransomware activity, failed login attempts across the board. Trainings completed comes from know before, so you'll see know before all the trainings that people are actually completed in here. And there's another related widget a little further down that shows data similar to this. But you can see here, these people are actually completing their training, so good job. And this trend here, so this is related to this rainbow chart up above. The security score trend shows where you are and where you are related to other organizations. So the idea here is to say, okay, this is, you can identify August. This is when we started our know before training. We signed on to know before, got people signed up. We could see a huge boost. And then, whatever trends you see after that, you can maybe correlate that to certain events within the organization. Total agents comes from our RMM platform, which is the agents that we have on machines to track patching and do remote support and whatnot. This is all drill down available, so you can see here like these devices here. Click in here, you can see all of your devices. If you're looking for a particular security related application, you can say threat locker here. It will filter, add on these columns here, and you could say, okay, threat locker is installed. No. Yes, we have one machine with threat locker, so that might be our test machine, and then everything else doesn't. But this is great if you're looking for antivirus software, trying to track, maybe a machine is missing an update. You can actually see software versions of all these publishers. So you could say, you could filter, I'll get a better example here for EDR. You could say, okay, software version, some of these are on the wrong version. So let's make sure we get these updated. It's just a great view so you can track your devices and the software related to any security incident. And it will add another line for each application that you enter. So now you see for one device, you'll have 2 lines. DNS set to 1, both installed. We're good on that device. So it's a great way to track security applications, and that's the same for all of those here. Schedule patches. This is a way to just view what kind of schedule you have for patching across all your devices, including workstations, servers, and third party. This is an area where you can edit the schedule. This just contacts your CSM and allows you to communicate about, hey, we need to change this scheduling here. This indicates reboot is enabled, so your machines will reboot. All of this is, you can communicate with any of us to figure this out here. security trainings completed is related to know before data, as stated before. So you can see there's about 44% of all trainings are completed in the organization. And for phishing related incidents, you can see 3 people reported, 8 people failed. Maybe you need to talk to these people about phishing in particular. And unpatched vulnerabilities shows all these risks here. So critical risk is really where you want to be looking, and you can view which devices are missing critical patches. And from here, you can create a ticket that consolidates all that information, shows which devices and which patches, and sends this on to support to get those patched right away. And if you want more information, these are knowledge base, like Microsoft knowledge base articles related to those particular patches and known vulnerabilities. This site traffic audit shows our DNS filtering data. So if you have that feature with us, you can view what traffic is allowed, what traffic is blocked, and threats. And this is also adjustable over time. So I know if you're having an incident where you're trying to get to a site and it's just you're unable to get there over time, you can come here and view exactly which sites were blocked, why. At this point we're adding the feature to be able to drill in and view, but for now you can see the trend and see specific dates where traffic was blocked. High risk user trend is again a combination of Microsoft data and know before data. So you'll be able to see, high risky sign-ons from Microsoft if you're using that feature. If that's enabled on your tenant, you'll be able to view if there's a risky sign-on or unknown sign-on from overseas. That will add to a person's risk score here, and also if they have uncompleted know before training, you could see here they'll be higher up on this list. At-risk devices comes from that same critical vulnerabilities above. It just kind of gives a line item view of which devices are the most at risk. And from here, you can also create tickets, and it will consolidate what patches those devices in particular are missing and send that on to our service team to get those patched. And finally, recent security tickets will show the top 5 most recent security tickets, and then you can view more and view all of those in a drill down kind of perspective, and also click into any of these at any time to view any communications along the way. And lastly, with security report, I'll readjust this here so I can click that. It has the same thing where you could do a PDF with an overview of the whole dashboard for QBRs, executive meetings, whatever the case. And that is the dashboard. So feel free. We love any feedback on these. If you're missing certain areas of data for know before in particular, please reach out to your CSM. We'll get you wired up to make sure all your data is visible. But that's it for, we want to make transparent environment that's strategic and tactically useful for our clients.
Awesome. Thanks, Jared. Yeah. I'm going to share my screen now. Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany. So just to follow up with what Jared said, I'm going to show you we do have a weekly, daily, or monthly service report that you can enable on the Quest platform and get sent for yourself. So if you click your icon on the right-hand side and you click View Profile, under Set Notifications, you can scroll down, and if you are a client admin, if you don't see this on your screen, feel free to reach out to your CSM and we can enable access for you. But you can set the email frequency to none, weekly or monthly. This will allow, on a period basis, that service report that Jared showed first to be sent in a PDF form so that you can look at it at a glance periodically whenever you need. So now getting into the new features of Quest that we are excited to show you. On the admin side, so if you use this to switch between user and admin, if the identifier says user, that means you're in admin mode, and vice versa. Under user management, which was formerly directory, we now offer the capability to add and edit premium users, and the first iteration of licensing, which I'll get into after, which is a view only. So if you look here, you'll see that I have one VIP user. Again, this is just Quest demo. So for the sake of argument, this is just a demo environment. So for VIP users, premium users, part-time users, and email only, you'll see that there's a UI identifier for who that VIP user is, as well as what the support level here is. If you select any of these options, you can see that this will engage, and you can select manage users. You can either manage their premium user status, meaning you can manage their premium, part-time, or email issue only, and you can make adjustments required based off of the availability that you have in your agreement with Sourcepass. And then same thing with VIP users. That is an unlimited selection. So we have as many spots as you need for VIP user or standard user. And then toggling over to licenses. This is the first iteration. So right now we're only showing the view of business premium and business basic. If you do have other license, stay tuned. We are going to be able to show you more in-depth licensing. But right now, this is just an at a glance, who has what. And if you need to make any adjustments, of course, you can reach out to your CSM, but this just gives you visibility into your subscriptions. This is one of the things that we've launched for Q1. Another very exciting thing that we have launched for Q1 is Approval Center, or better iterated as Communication Center. So if you toggle back to the user side, you will see the Communication Center as well as the Notification Center. So as a client admin, I will give you a step-by-step on how we implemented the Approval Center, but from a client admin or an approver. So the requirements to be an approver is on the request form section. You'll see here, I will toggle over and display this for you. So if you were to create your own request form, or you have a request form that a CSM has created for you, for the sake of this webinar, I'll show you a test form, but it could fit into multiple scenarios, whether you're doing a change management request. The approval flow is exactly as you will fill out the required request form, or your CS will build one for you. And then under delivery, you will see approvals. So we do have two scenarios for approvals. We have approval workflows, which can be predefined users, which I will show you after, but this is the first part of approvals. Or you can clear this out and select any approver required. So if I am the approver of this request form, when an end user will go in and submit this form, you will automatically be notified in the Communication Center, and you will be able to view the ticket, view the request, approve or reject. Upon rejection, you will have to leave a note. But to branch into the approval workflow, so we've just implemented this approval workflow, which will be set up by your CSM, or you can set it up as a client admin. So you can create workflows, and you can label it internal IT, and you can select the users who are a part of your internal IT. It can be as many users as you want. You can also do under the approval settings, you can do only one approval response is required, or all approvers, meaning everyone in this list will need to approve it in order for it to be updated in ConnectWise and have that approval status. So that way the service technician can proceed with whatever your request is. Or the second iteration is, do you want this to go in numerical order? So meaning I'm first, and then whoever the second user is and the third user is, or do you want this to be sent as a blanket approval across everyone within the organization, and then they can all approve it at once? You can have a chain of command, or you can just send a blanket. So that creates this workflow that then ties into the Quest approval form. So for example, under the delivery, you can select finance, which is a predefined workflow. You can click save and continue, publish your form. And then once your form is published, for the sake of this is just demo. Once your form is published, you'll be able to submit the request. So let's say you share this with all users in your platform, you submit a request. Now Rachel Lee is requesting, so you can toggle over to the communication section. You will have a UI identifier to know that you have 2 approvals. You can view them. So you can view them by ticket. So if you click into this ticket, you will be able to see the request that was submitted on behalf of this user. Might just take a second to load. Yeah, these are all testing scenarios. Apologies. Okay. All right. So if you'll see that she's requesting hardware, laptop, when does she need it by? So this is all the information regurgitated into this ticket. So me as the approver, I can just simply click approve. This will send an updated prompt, not only in the ticket, but also to the service technicians. It will update the status, letting the users know that there is a response required, meaning to the service technician that they can proceed with next steps. If it's rejected, the same thing that happens, but a note is added, also allowing the service technician to proceed with next steps. So this is a very, very streamlined way for you guys to not have to answer so many phone calls for approvals, etc. So now, adding to another layer of that, under Get Support, we've just did a reiteration of our request form platform. We are now implementing smart requests. So if we do cater to your Microsoft and we do support it as Sourcepass, you'll be able to, you should start seeing smart request identifiers. That means that we have partnered with Roost integration, and we have allowed the capability to automate smart password reset, smart calendar request, and smart mailbox request. Shared calendar and shared mailbox require approval. So definitely reach out to your CSM, as we have already identified the first iteration that will be the primary contact as the approver. So if that needs to be changed, you can definitely reach out to your CSM and get that updated. But these smart requests allow automation and simplicity. So when clicking into this, if I needed to update my Microsoft password, I would simply go through the prompt, click submit, the workflow would run, and we would be all set in that regard. We've also allowed the ability to pin request forms. So if you do have a favorite request form or a request form that you go back to very frequently and you don't want to go through the process of having to search for it or going through the main category to find it, you can very easily pin this request form, and then it will display here automatically. We've also condensed our knowledge base within Get Support. So previously there used to be view ticket, new ticket, and knowledge base. Now under these categories, which I will explain to you how you can create a request form and view it, you'll be able to pair your knowledge base articles or knowledge base articles created by Sourcepass under Access Support articles. You can also redirect and view all of the KB topics within here, but if you go back, you'll still be within Get Support. So switching over to knowledge base, you can create and edit any request forms that were created for your company specifically. You will not be able to edit or remove company request forms that were created by Sourcepass, but if any time you need to make any modifications, you can again reach out to your CSM and make adjustments there. But if you were to create any of your own request forms, you can simply use our new and improved knowledge base builder, which is a very simple approach in creating request forms where we have layouts and blocks, and it's very user friendly. And then you can adjust the support category and the sub support category, which is where it will show up within the Get Support. And then final closing here is our last and final iteration for Q1, which we have many more to come in Q2, is the ability to initiate an approval. So maybe you don't have a request form built. Maybe this is a one-off scenario. Maybe this is a very custom approval that needs required. You can at any time within any ticket toggle over to the view ticket details, and within the initiate approval, click this and it will show up a prompt and you will write your request. Once you write your request, you'll be able to search the user that needs to be the approver, whether that's yourself, if you're showing your client users how to use this feature and you're saying, just submit an approval for me and I'll approve it. That way you don't have to make a phone call to the service technician. You would select your approver. If you have multiple approvers, you can do that as well here. Workflows are not supported because we want to give clarity to the user on who they're specifically requesting this approval from. And then you can also determine complete approvals in order. So Brian would go first and Connor would go second, or only requires one approval. So let's say we have to send this to Brian and Connor, but it does not matter who approves it as long as someone approves it. They will then get a notification via email, as well as an update in their communications and a prompt in the ticket, since they will then become CC'd on the ticket. So all of that allows the ability for simplicity. And I think that covers the new iterations that we are currently going over. So I'm going to pass this over to Brian for a Q&A.
Yes. Jared and Brittany, thank you both very much. Appreciate what you went over. Always really excited to talk about new features, certainly ones that the general audience has been exposed to, maybe iterations there. Those are always really important for sure. Some things that I think what I'd like to continue on a little bit to make sure that we have a little bit more of an understanding. I can say that somebody had actually asked about it in the questions about roadmap, right? So there are a couple of things that we can talk about, some things we can't quite yet, but these are certainly things that we're working on currently. So one thing, obviously as we keep improving Quest, we're looking to add features that make a difference for client administrators and client users, right? So on the roadmap, some of these key enhancements include, for example, the onboarding walkthroughs. This is going to help make it easier for new users to get started. There's a few different methods that we're looking to implement here. Some that are going to be pretty simplified in terms of allowing users to understand the features of Quest as they navigate through, without having to hit a knowledge base article first to understand it. It's going to point people in the right direction, in addition to providing users with kind of like a checklist of items that might be most important features for different roles, whether you're a user, standard user, or a client administrator user, right? So that's one. One of the other things we're looking to do is, for better coordination, we're looking to add a scheduling feature for tickets. Now, this can't happen for all tickets. It depends on the level, what type of ticket it is. But we have some really, really cool things coming that will help identify what tickets can have that scheduling feature applied. Some of you have some experience with that with Sourcepass already, as it relates to a ticket being generated and then a response coming to you to kind of figure out what might work best in terms of a time. This will be an automated feature that works as you're entering the ticket for a Quest, or while you're in a ticket that can be scheduled, you'll have that opportunity within Quest to do that. So that's something we're excited about implementing. One of the items that it requires a lot of moving parts, certainly on the Sourcepass side, but certainly for users as well, is live chat. Certainly this is going to provide direct support through the platform, in addition to some self-service answers while waiting for a technician to chat. All of those types of things we're pretty excited to kind of implement one of those, that feature as it should reduce, obviously, response times for ticketing, but also boost some satisfaction. That's what we're always looking to do. And we're looking to also automate new user onboarding and offboarding processes to streamline those. That's a little bit more intricate too, because a lot of companies have their own bespoke processes, and we want to be cautious and very conscious and respectful of those. So it's a rollout that we expect that will take some time, and some hand holding might have to happen there. But these are all features that are based off of feedback we've gotten. Certainly all what we're looking to do is to enhance the admin capabilities, enhance user capabilities, streamline the interactions with our team. That's what we're looking to do. So of course we're going to get into Q&A, but definitely wanted to chat about our next event in the learning series. So you should mark your calendars here for it's actually next week. So I know typically we're doing second Wednesday, but in this particular case, I kind of shifted things around on Dave and the marketing team here. But I appreciate them allowing me to do that and jumping in here. But certainly on this one, we're empowering the workforce with Azure Virtual Desktop. That's happening May 28th, which is next Wednesday at 1:30. So certainly go to the website, sourcepass.com/events. You can register there. And it's going to provide, the comprehensive detail on that. And obviously, we'd love to see you there. So brings us to the end of the webinar. Certainly appreciate everybody jumping in here today. Love to chat about Q&A if there's any questions. And I know that there are maybe one or two here that we'll go into in a minute. But feel free to reach out to your CSM if you have questions beyond this webinar, and any questions that you come up with afterwards or we can't answer during this particular session. It's important to do that. You can also email if you have questions about the events. You can email events@sourcepass.com, and we should be able to get some answers to you pretty quickly there. But yeah, let's open the floor to any questions. Use the Q&A button, use the chat button, and we'll do our best to answer them. So I appreciate that.
Sorry, Jared.
That's all right. Yeah, I saw you had mentioned that there's one, and I see this from Stephen. A scanner to find machines that don't have RMM or that don't have S1. So we can find the ones that don't have S1 if they have RMM. So RMM is kind of the source of truth for devices as far as what we see in Quest. So if there's discrepancies there between like ConnectWise and RMM, there's a couple different places that device data is coming from. So we can definitely figure that out if you have some in particular that you're trying to track down, or that aren't in RMM, we can look into that. But if it has RMM on it, we'll be able to see if it has S1 and figure out which devices don't have S1.
Great. And there's one more from Stephen. I think this one might be more so for Brian, but Stephen asks, we have internal IT people as well. Can we have tickets that go to Sourcepass and then internal tickets separated?
So most likely, if there's an applicable filter, we could apply that. Right now, we have one view ticket section. So I kind of think I have a general understanding of what you're referring to there, Stephen. I think we may need to chat a little bit offline, maybe during a feedback session. It might serve well to understand a little bit more about your needs there. I think I have a thought there about what you're looking for, but I think that's what I probably want to provide a little bit more, get a little bit more details. So if you don't mind, what I'd like to do is maybe after the session, certainly reach out and see if that's something that we can help assist, at least understand what your needs are there. Make sure if it's whether or not it's a filter that we could apply quickly, or if it's something that might be a little bit more advanced. We'll just make sure that we have the detail there. I did also see some comments about the performance. So yeah, constantly updating on performance. That's something that we always we don't take lightly. We understand, listen, this is what a tool that everybody's in, and we want them to be in every day, all day, right? Obviously that's not the case. Can't be the case, but it is something that's important to us to have it where you love to be in Quest, right? And you don't love to sit there and wait for something to happen. So we do find pieces of that where we can improve from time to time. Certainly about what you're saying about maybe differences between the demo and the production. That it's hard to say without looking into the data that might be applying to your particular company. We don't necessarily see that tremendous difference. However, there may be several factors. So what we also will probably want to do is have a conversation about that with you, because in addition to, if it, like, let's say it's the ticketing section opening up the tickets. You shouldn't be waiting more than a few seconds at most to be able to see your tickets. Being able to search quickly. We've tried to improve some areas there. Brittany and the team have really done a great job of that recently. And there are certainly some ways that we can help with that. So, but I want to understand a little bit more about that. So I'll probably end up reaching out to you a little bit separately there just to gain a little bit more understanding. Try not to bother you too much, but I think it would definitely be great to get some feedback there. Okay,
awesome.
Great.
I think that's it in terms of the questions that I spotted in the chat, and I don't think there were any in the Q&A section. I'll double check. Nope, not seeing any there. So yeah, I think that's it on all the questions currently.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at the very least, I appreciate everybody spending some time. This is super important. Looks like we have one coming in. I can say also that one of the things that we think is really valuable, and I think a lot of you are already on it, is being a part of our beta program. So Rachel heads up the beta, managing the beta program that we have here at Quest, and there's an easy way to navigate to get there. And a lot of you have already been a part of it, but you have that opportunity. And Brittany, why don't you tell everybody how to quickly where they would go to navigate to get to to manage their beta program status?
Yeah. Let me pull that up for you guys. So at any time, you can go into View Profile, very similar to how we set notifications, and you can click the banner here, Join the Quest Beta Program. This is where you will go through the prompts, and you will click Join Beta. You will also be able to select specific areas of interest. There is far more on the production than the Quest demo, but then you would just click Submit, and then you would become a Quest beta user. You would be first approach at our new releases, as well as Rachel, myself, Brian, and Jared, and Joe, our other UX UI designer, would definitely reach out to you for feedback sessions, as we're always looking to improve the Quest platform.
Yeah, thank you, Brittany. And obviously the goal is not to overload users with those questions. We do have a good number of users on that today. But what's nice about it is that a lot of these features that get released, they get released pretty significantly with a significant amount of time prior to it becoming available for the general public. And as a result of that, you might be able to take advantage of the feature earlier, but also have your voice heard when it comes to providing first initial feedback. And things that you might be providing might be things that we would want to get in there right away. So it's definitely valuable to be a part of those. We're not looking to meet with you every day, but it is something that we want to meet with different people every day and kind of get an understanding about what it is. And we don't want to bother everybody, but we do want as much information from you as possible. So the more we can get out of the users that have this, the better off we're all going to be. Okay, so I don't know. I don't see anybody else. Rachel, do you have any? Is there anyone else that I'm missing?
I see Alan said he has a question, but I don't see the specific question. So Alan, if you want to pop that in the chat, or if not, we can follow up with you via email and we'll kind of get that question answered for you. So I'm not seeing anything at the moment. Yeah.
Well, one thing I will say is that I believe that this is open for a little bit. So as people send messages, if you send messages afterwards, even in that survey link that was just popped in by Kat recently here in the chat, you have the opportunity to put some information in there as well, and we can always try to answer as many questions as possible. Your CSM can also assist by connecting with us to make sure that we any information that you have will get over to us. But really appreciate everybody's time today. It's pretty exciting that I'll be able to go through some of these features. We're going to have more of these so that this way everybody's kept up to date as new features are released. Certainly as the roadmap items are going in, those are all important things. But appreciate everybody's time and certainly the feedback in the chat.